Unfortunately, Stephanie Solano could not be here because she was hospitalized. She asked me to speak on her behalf, and I would like to ask everyone to please send her positive energy. So, bienvenidos everyone. Welcome to Los Angeles, and thank you for being here. I am here representing young people of East Los Angeles and beyond that are fighting for quality public education. I am very proud of who I am and where I am from. I grew up in Boyle Heights, the oldest neighborhood in Los Angeles, only 10 minutes east of where we are right now. We are a community of families, Latinos, and immigrants. I attended Roosevelt High School that at one time was the most overcrowded high school in the nation with over 6,000 students. I experienced the impact of overcrowded classrooms, lack of college prep courses, and punitive discipline that over-suspended students. I also experienced the barriers to attending higher education due to being undocumented. I experienced being denied from college preparatory courses because they were full or did not exist. I witnessed many of my fellow students drop out due to low expectations, even though so many had the dreams of going to college. Our schools had a 60% disappearance rate of students that entered as freshmen and 4 years later were no longer there. In this context, one can feel invisible, voiceless, and powerless. In high school, I joined Inner City Struggles Youth Organizing Arm, United Students, that brought students together to fight for educational justice and expose inequality in our school systems. I was able to give voice to my personal struggles and find common grounds with my fellow students to develop a plan of action for changing the challenges we faced in our schools. In my development as an organizer, I learned to speak up against injustice. My transformation as an organizer was impacted by the skills I learned from Inner City Struggles organizing training. When I learned the steps for how to develop a campaign and build a base of support, I felt armed and ready for action. I worked with United Student members to launch the College Prep, Not Prison Prep campaign at Roosevelt High School and demanded implementation of alternatives to punitive discipline measures. We demanded an end to school-to-prison pipeline. As part of the campaign, we organized an after-school student town hall with over 100 students in attendance with key decision makers. We spoke up for changes we wanted to see in our schools. We want commitments from school and district leaders to focus on prevention and support for students. We continued the campaign by ensuring our schools created a school discipline committee to completely revamp the school discipline policy. We were at the table for months and ensured that implementation of restorative justice as the only disciplinary approach at our school. This set in motion the movement to grow this work to other Eastside campuses and all throughout Los Angeles. The next step was uniting with the organizations and youth from across LA County to push the Los Angeles Board to pass the School Climate Bill of Rights. When we started the campaign, we only had 2 board members supporting our demand. On the day of the vote, we showed up with over 300 youth strong inside the boardroom, demanding that every student matters. Through our organizing and direct action, we won the historical passage of the resolution by a 5-2 vote, which eliminates willful defiance as a reason for suspending students. This victory ends years of unjust and unfair suspending of mainly African American and Latino youth in our communities. But the struggle is not over yet. It continues, and we need all of you to support the youth movement that is growing and that is demanding educational justice for all. When youth are well-trained and well-organized, they can find their voices to lift up the problems that they face, articulate what is at stake, and present concrete solutions. When youth are supported, they can move a system that is unwilling to change. When youth unite with parents and teachers, significant change is possible. In the campaigns I have been a part of, adult allies have supported which made the work stronger. Last fall, Inner City Struggle joined a broad coalition of community organizations, faith-based groups, advocates, and labor unions to support the passage of Proposition 30, which restored an education funding for students that need the support the most. We will build from this big victory to ensure that promises are fulfilled. In the next week, youth across the city will escalate organizing efforts to push the debate forward for equality, equity, and access. At stake right now is deciding how to utilize local control funding formulas and resources, a result of Proposition 30. Decision-making must occur at the school site level with youth and parents at the table. Empowering local school communities will ensure these funds are directed at low-income students, foster youth, and English language learners. We will demand that these funds support progress and graduation rates, dropout prevention, student wellness, and college preparation. The future is at stake, and young people are in the best position to raise the sense of urgency. Lastly, I want to share with you the importance of being unafraid of coming out of the shadows as a young, undocumented student. As dreamers, we fight for a better future. We have everything at stake, and we are willing to fight for that future. Will you join us? Today, I am proud to continue to support the East Side students to become leaders while I pursue college. Thank you for allowing me to be present and to speak on these critical issues, and for your support of young people in the fight of educational justice. In spirit of the youth power, I want to close off with a chant that we use at Inner City Struggle when we march and rally. Please stand. So this is a unity clap that I'm sure most of you all know, which is how the farm workers communicated. So